thank you so much for the ideas you leave in the comments, guys. It really means a lot. So let's get straight to the point. Yamaha TDR 125 review. So first of all, the first thing you need to know about this bike is that it's extremely heavy. It's heavier than a 300 two-stroke KTM. It's got 100 kilos, so it's 100 plus kilos. But you can't really feel that unless you get on a bigger bike and see how that feels. It's really hard to like play around with because of the weight, but you're gonna get used to that, and it's a really good thing for beginners, so that they can get used to going to more of a harder section, because that's practically what you feel. The bike is very limited turning and everything, so that's a kind of a good point, but a bad point, because if you crash a lot like I do, it's really heavy to lift around and just move. Second thing is that it's like the most reliable thing I've ever had in my life, except a few things. Like the first one, I let it sit for like 6 months in a row, not even touch it, and 6 months it's been sitting in my garage. And then I just took it out, did nothing to it whatsoever, just nothing, and started it idle for like 15 to 20 seconds. Then I heard a very loud crack, and it was just seized. The whole motor was seized. So I took it apart, thought that maybe the piston rings were damaged or something like that. I was like, hey, nothing's wrong here. And then I saw that as soon as I took the starter off, the bike wheel ran, and I was like, did the starter fail? It was spinning okay, I could use it, like hold it out and it would work, but as soon as I put it in, I saw this weird, like how do you say that? It was like a something like this, like you would do this, and I thought maybe my clutch is down, but where is without the starter? So then it was kind of a rattling. So then I took the whole part of this bike off, and I saw that the little clutch between the engine, the starter, and the Kickstarter was not working properly. So I was like, oh, maybe I have to order this part. And I took it down, tried to use a freaking breaker bar to make it turn itself, and the breaker bar actually destroyed a little piece of metal that was stuck between the teeth of the clutch, and the whole thing works perfectly till then. Hopefully you won't have any other problems. Alright, but that's my problem. I don't think that will happen to you guys. So now let's get back to our point of the review. It's starting pretty hard, especially on cold starts, and it's pretty hard to turn over as well, because it's really small and everything is just fitting in there. You don't really have big gears for the Kickstarter, and you're pretty much carrying the engine with your foot directly. The stock car is crap, and I'm saying that all the meaning I could. It's complete crap. It needs rebuild every 2 to 3 weeks, and it's just crap. And then the suspension is so soft that even the lightest bump will compress at least half of it. So if you're doing anything harder, it's crap. Like if you want to try jumping on rocks or stuff, it's just gonna be like this. Yeah. Now that's only for harder stuff. Power. This engine has plenty of power as soon as you put some fresh gas in and some fresh oil. Unless it's not gonna work properly. Let's try it because the guy's coming and it's suspicious. Now, the rest of it. So I'm gonna continue talking on the bike because that guy is really coming in my direction. And that's good. So for the plastics, the bike has really strong plastics on it. Stock. So you won't really have a problem with breaking those or anything. I mean, I took it to some hard stuff. The tires were crap. So yeah, so it didn't really do anything. I had to push it all the way down till I got down. And yeah, that's why I would break off all the plastics and stuff, but nothing really got damaged. So that's in trust. Just idle slider. That's pretty much all I have to say about the plastics. Now, the wheels and the sizing. The size of this bike is pretty good for a beginner. It's pretty low actually. The seat is extremely low right here. It's, next to another like 450 or 250 or 2 strokes, anything. 125, 250, 300. They all have the seat like almost completely flat. This one's like a lot more curvy and it makes that, I don't know, it just looks like it's made to be like that. The whole back fender is like going straight down and makes it look good. Because if we're gonna do that on a bigger bike, it's gonna look like crushing. Yeah, so it's a pretty good beginner bike. Now, the electronics on the bike. The electronics are pretty bad. You don't have a speedometer, you don't have anything. It's like a complete motocross bike, even though it's a trail bike. So I had to put one of these speedometers on. It got pretty damaged, and the lights, they're not pretty good, but you know, they're there. Also, let's talk about more important stuff like brakes and brakes. Yeah. So the front brake is a disc brake. It works pretty well. I mean, I don't want the supermotor brake right here, but it's extremely good. And transmission, yeah, I forgot about that. The back brake is a drum brake. It's not pretty good. I mean, you have to like go to water and for it to actually work. And then you've got the transmission. I really don't know how many tools are on there, but it's pretty good for enduro or trail driving. Yeah. So that's pretty much everything about the bike. Oh, and the exhaust system is top one, of course, as any bike. It's extremely silent. It's even more silent than fully for schools. Hopefully you guys enjoyed everything, so see you next time.